Other news now, after days of being locked inside their homes with a killer on the loose, Mainers finally able to mourn together. They gathered yesterday at the Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul.
The entire building was filled, you'll see in the video here, while others gathered outside as faith leaders spoke to the strength of the Lewiston community.
Joe Cortez joins us now with more from last night's vigil. Joe.
Well, over 1,000 people attended the ceremony to remember those who lost their lives during last week's shooting rampage. Religious leaders spoke of the pain, but also about the healing process and resiliency of the 40,000 people in the Lewiston community. Now, there was also a speaker from Lewiston's deaf and hard of hearing community. 4 of its members were killed in that shooting. Now, as you drive through Lewiston, you'll see this bright sign written in colorful cursive saying hopeful. The vigil comes just 2 days after the body of suspected gunman was found, but amidst the strength shown by the community, there was sadness as the names of the 18 people killed were read aloud, a list that lasted too long.
Tonight was so beautiful, like the church, the interpreter, the deaf community, like everyone was there. It's just like, it felt like love there. The name, it just like popped up and you just don't want that name to be on. It just breaks my heart.
If you could say one last thing to your uncle, what would you say to him?
I just want to say I miss him. Like, I miss you, I love you.
Residents will return to work this morning. A school meeting was held to discuss a re-entry plan for students in the wake of the mass shooting. Now, kids will be back in school on Tuesday. They'll be providing mental health resources and emotional help, and that includes some therapy dogs. Live in studio, Joe Cortez, 12 News.
Really long week, of course, for the folks in and around Lewiston, Maine. Residents of the town gathering together yesterday. A massive vigil taking place. Over 1,000 people attended.
Hundreds more watching a live stream shown on a huge screen in front of the Basilica as many gathered to support one another and seek guidance out of these dark days.
Joe Cortez joining us now with more on those who spoke about hope and also a message from the Pope as well for the people of Lewiston.
Yeah, Patrick Kate, just 2 days after the suspected gunman's body was found, the community gathered together to honor the 18 people killed during the shooting. One reverend vowed that the community is bigger than the tragedy and will emerge not just as Lewiston strong, but as Lewiston stronger. All 18 names were read out loud while some held American flags and others had lit candles in cups marked with the names of the victims and those injured. As you drive into Lewiston, Maine, you'll look up and see this bright sign, colorful cursive reading hopeful. Religious leaders spoke of the pain, but also about the healing process and resiliency of the 40,000 people in the Lewiston community. Many churches around the area held services Sunday. One church official said some people were raising funds to help those hurt by, quote, the horrible events in their small town. The Bishop of Portland addressed people in the Basilica, saying he received a letter from Pope Francis.
His Holiness commends the souls of the dead to the loving mercy of Almighty God, and he prays for the recovery of the wounded and the medical personnel caring for them. He likewise commends the noble efforts of first responders who put themselves in harm's way to protect the community. With firm trust that aided by God's grace, we can overcome evil with good.
Now, as for the people who are still injured, 3 of them remain in critical condition at Central Maine Medical Center. A 4th is in stable condition, and there was another person that was transported to Massachusetts General Hospital. Residents will head back to work today, and the kids are expected to head back to school on Tuesday. Reporting live in studio, Joe Cortez, 12 News.